This was brought to my attention the other night, and I guess after doing some research, Cheats Forever popularised the basics of this recently. However, I'm going to show you how to maximise this apparent bug before it gets fixed, and even put it into a build that will stand the test of time regardless, offering unlimited abilities, mass ad clear and excellent DPS. So, did you know that Necrotic Grip has some awesome synergy with the Attunement of Flame Dawnblade subclass? I honestly didn't, but I have noticed a similar synergy with certain perks previously, especially with the Salvager's Salvo Grenade Launcher and its Chain Reaction perk in a build I covered previously with Necrotic Grip. But if you want to maximise this unique one-of-a-kind build synergy, then you'll want to get grenades and melees as fast as possible so you can chain spread both the solar explosions and poison damage. Necrotic Grip have long been a favourite of mine, especially with the perfect synergy they offer when paired with the exotic hand cannon Fawn. Grasp of the Devourer allows you to damage a combatant with either a charged or uncharged melee and poison them, dealing increased damage over time. When the poisoned enemy dies, the condition spreads to nearby targets. It's a pretty potent ability by itself as a bog standard melee, but the fact that this little bug allows both your grenades and super to inflict and spread the poison corruption damage as well makes it even better. Bottom Tree Dawnblade got a buff at the start of Season of the Lost, and this is why this appears to work with Necrotic Grip. Dealing any solar ability damage now causes enemies to explode with solar energy on final blows with that ability. Both the Igniting Touch melee and any grenade will cause targets to burn and then explode, chaining the explosions much like how Sunshot does. The Daybreak projectiles from your super will also burn targets and chain this reaction on final blows too, let alone extending its duration. So now you want to get your grenades and melee back as quickly as possible, so you can just deal huge area of effect damage with this solar poison build. Each chain of solar explosion will trigger Necrotic Grips and also either count as a grenade or melee final blow too. There's a number of mods, both normal, charged with light and elemental wells, that can and will allow us to maximise the uptime of our abilities in this setup by simply just using our own abilities. I'm not going to cover them all, but this is the exact build setup I settled with to maximise getting both my grenades and melees back in no time. There's no surprise that I'm going with an elemental well setup, as there's just a ton of top tier ones to use this season that with certain combinations somewhat negate the need for certain exotics. This build in particular I feel mimics the effect that both Verity's Brow and Nezarec's Sin can offer, but instead it frees us up to use Necrotic Grips or even other exotics in other setups. But before we get into the ins and outs, if you're new here and enjoying the content, please hit the subscribe button. I aim to make the endgame of Destiny 2 accessible to everyone with a variety of builds and guides, so that you too can get that sweet loot. Every like is always appreciated and really helps me out too. I've also got a Discord server you can join to speak with other members of the community. Check out the link below in the description. Explosive Well Maker is the first mod up, which works perfectly in this build. Rapidly defeating combatants with explosive damage creates a solar elemental well. This will create a well from any explosion, and it also stacks with other well mods. Elemental Ordnance will create wells on grenade final blows, and Melee Well Maker will create wells on melee final blows as well. All of these wells you create will be solar elemental wells, and so they'll grant energy to all of your abilities as they match your solar subclass type. And thanks to how explosive your abilities are, you'll generally create 2 wells per grenade and melee chain in final blow too. Finishing off the well setup, we've got not 1 but 2 Well of Ordnance mods equipped. This is another new mod this season from the Wayfarer's Compass, whereby picking up a solar elemental well grants you additional grenade energy, with multiple mods granting a stacking effect. This is really noticeable and definitely makes the most of the wells you are making consistently. But we're not done yet, as we continue to mod the absolute shit out of this one. Impact Induction will reduce your grenade cooldown when causing melee damage, and chucking Hands On to grant bonus super energy on melee final blows as well. Lastly, the Bomber mod will reduce your grenade cooldown when using your class ability, and this definitely helps to fill in any downtime of your grenades. For endgame content, you can even use the Withering Heat mod to weaken and debuff champions when using your solo abilities on them, and also the Thermoclastic Strike mod to disrupt overload champions, which will also instantly refresh your melee ability too. This would likely mean you need to remove the Bomber mod though on your class item. If you want to lean into the solar explosions, then weapons wise there's none better than Sunshot. Its solar chaining blast will create constant wells thanks to the explosive well maker mod, and so it isn't a bad shout to back up your abilities. But like I mentioned at the start of the video, Chain Reaction can help to maximise both the effect of Necrotic Grips and the explosive well maker mod to create lots of solar elemental wells and deal huge area of effect damage. Therefore, literally any chain reaction weapon with any elemental type is going to work wonders here, to be honest. Salvager's Salvo would be my main pick, as the Demolitionist and chain reaction perk combo can and will grant you tons of grenade energy in an instant, as well as all the elemental wells you'll need and then some. Alternatively, the new heavy grenade launcher from this season can roll with chain reaction and is an easily farmable option from the Prismatic Recaster via the Wayfinder's concussion focused Umbral engram. But you don't even need to go down that route, to be honest, as I think the best setup would be to use a combination of the grenade centric perks across all your weapons, with the best setup using Chain Reaction, Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie, all of which do roll on a number of weapon archetypes including popular fusion and linear fusion rifles this season. I've got a Fatebringer collecting dust in my vault, patiently waiting for its time in the spotlight. It's got Fresh to boost your super cooldown, but also Adrenaline Junkie with a free time stack granting it up to a 33% damage boost on grenade final blows, which will be very easy to achieve with this grenade focused build. Salvager's Salvo, as mentioned with its demo and chain reaction roll, will be great in the energy slot as a workhorse to keep the build's momentum going, and does intermittently proc Necrotic Grip 2 for some reason. Then lastly, there's the Hothead rocket launcher. This new Nightfall reward this season can come with Demolitionist to boost grenade recharge rates, but this is a top DPS roll thanks to Clown Cartridge too. Reloading will grant you 2 in the magazine, which you can shoot in quick succession, then auto reload by throwing a grenade for 3 back-to-back high impact rockets on bosses. It's a truly potent setup which really does lean into the explosive corruption nature of this whole build. Simply throw and chain grenades or melees to create a number of elemental wells, collecting just a handful of these along with utilising the bomber and impact induction mods will get you a full grenade charge in no time at all. You can then use your weapons to complement this and also to help deal with mini bosses, or champions anywhere in Destiny 2. Now, even if this strange synergy with the Dawnblade subclass allowing for necrotic grenades does get nerfed at some point, this build is still going to allow you to get fast abilities and deal large area of effect damage anyway. This started out as a simple look at a unique, possibly buggy interaction of Necrotic Grip that may or may not get fixed, but ended up with a build that'll set you right for tons of content and is easily interchangeable with your favourite or meta weapons too this season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and what you'd use in this setup weapons wise. Remember to subscribe if you're new, like the video too, and also share it with your friends. I've been Truds, this has been another build video, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.